In this third strategy, we will utilize some of these line curve components. You can experiment with any of these to assist in designing your 3D letter. For this exercise, we will use an arc component defined by a tangent vector. Let's create a start point and an end point. Vector point, construct a point. So we'll need parametric values. Double click on the canvas, type 20. This will be our starting point. Copy and paste, this will be our end point. Adjust your values. We'll need a direction for the arc. Vector X. This arc will represent the top part of our letter S, so it needs to curve the other way. Simply hover over the factor input, right click, set number, -1. Now we'll create another arc for the bottom part of our letter S. Curve, primitive, arc. The starting point for this arc should be the end point for the previous arc. So let's feed that in. Construct a point, vector, construct a point. Direction, vector X. Now we'll need to create line segments for the top part of the S. Curve, primitive tab, line segment. Starting point should be the top part of the arc. Direction X, vector X. We'll need parametric values 4.5. We'll have to do the same for the bottom part of the S, so copy and paste. We'll need to connect the endpoint of the last arc, but it needs to go the other way, so hover over factor, set number -1. Commit. Great, there it is. Now let's join these curves. Curve, utilities, join curves. We have the top line segment. Hold down shift, top arc, bottom arc, and bottom line segment. Right. Let's de-preview some of these components. Let's create an offset, utilities, under curve tab, utilities, offset curve. Let's adjust the thickness, parametric value, 0.54. Great. Let's start adjusting some of these parameters. Okay, so we have the original curve, the offset curve. Now we'll need to define the endpoints of these curves. So under curve tab, analysis, endpoints for the original curve. and for the offset curve. We'll need to close the gap, so we'll create a line segment line. Another line segment to close the gap. Excellent. Again, let's join all these curves. Utilities, join curves. Hold down Shift. Top line segment. Inner curve. Bottom line segment. The outer curve. Excellent. Now let's de-preview this second part. So all we can see is the boundary of a 2D shape. Now let's create a surface defined by this boundary. Boundary surface. Similar to the previous exercises, we'll need to extrude this surface to create a 3D form. Extrude surface. Vector Z. We need a parametric value. Great. Now we have a parametric design that represents the letter S. You can adjust any of these values to alter your design. You can also create a logic behind some of these parameters. So now that we've explored 3 design strategies, we'll proceed to the next tutorial on preparing them for fabrication.